Cathie Wood is flip-flopping on Bitcoin today. I'm going to explain exactly why and how. Let's just jump into it. I do want to thank our sponsor, and that is Uphold. This is where you guys can earn crypto better. There's a lot of ways to do this, including staking rewards. And guess what? You can get up to 20 different cryptocurrencies out there on the Uphold platform to stake on. So this is one of the best places to go if you're brand new to crypto. And I know a lot of you guys are coming into our channel that are coming from traditional finance and you're thinking this is the thing, you want to get into crypto. Go over to uphold.com, use our link down below. It's going to help you guys get going. 300 assets you can trade over there, new tokens and early access. And the best thing of all that you can do over there is get a debit card that's coming right in off of the Uphold platform. And you get 4% in XRP back during the first 3 months. Other ways to stack benefits and rewards as well. So check it all out. Use our link down below. Let's get going today. This is going to be a kind of a clip parade of a podcast that Cathie Wood was involved in, along with several Bitcoin experts, that we'll call them. And there is a very interesting evolution that occurs during this podcast. Just so you guys are aware, the first clip I'm going to play is when she was being interviewed by Andrew Sorkin. And the direct question, and I want you to listen to this clip very closely because it will relate to some of the clips we're going to play after this that'll make sense. Take a look.
Stablecoins are usurping part of the role that we thought Bitcoin would play. Our bullish forecast out there is 1.5 million. Given what's happening to stablecoins, I think we could take maybe $300,000 off of that bullish case. Digital gold could usurp half of that market.
So, Cathie, this is news because this is a different expectation.
This was Sorkin just kind of responding because he just asked her what's going to, how's the market going in this case? She gave that answer. And then, of course, and I think she got a lot of backlash. When I aired that clip the first time, I even said during that podcast that we did, I said, I think Cathie got the call. And you know what that means. You get the call because there's a lot of pushback from the community. Here is the podcast, the first clip out of that podcast of where they basically got her to address this interview with Sorkin. Take a look.
And boy, Andrew Ross Sorkin ran with it when I said on CNBC Squawk Box. He ran with that, but I had to put that in context. And so the digital gold role of Bitcoin, we think is that much more valuable and probably is more than offset what I just said about stablecoins. So I think we're sorting through that. I think the party has just begun. As we say, truth wins out. And I know a lot of people are discouraged right now, especially with the DATs,
All right, so that was Cathie kind of defending her position. I don't get what she was talking about there because Sorkin did not really pin her against the wall on that. I think it was just like it was news that she was giving up that information that she thought digital gold and USDC, RLUSD, all stablecoins were taking a little bit of wind out of the market of digital gold, being Bitcoin. They go further in the podcast, and in this particular one, they try to convince Cathie further that this is the right path. Take a look.
I think this is why Andrew Ross Sorkin was so focused on this idea of stablecoins. Wait a minute, you said Bitcoin. You've told me in the past that would be Bitcoin's role. It is true, though, isn't it, that stablecoins are usurping one of the roles of Bitcoin, but you're seeing evidence of Bitcoin being used as a means of exchange. Are you? Maybe you could talk about that a little bit.
Absolutely. All over. I go to these places and it's being used as a medium of exchange. But most of the people don't know what you know, what we know on this call.
All right. So just to make clear, all of the people on this podcast, these are Bitcoin maxis, Bitcoiners, whatever you want to call people that just truly believe in the evolution of where Bitcoin is going. And this is something that we track pretty heavily, and that is the narrative that is being spewed out there on social, because crypto Twitter, I would say, is one of the most influential places for investors and in general crypto curious and also crypto natives to get information. So I just, kind of went through them. This is a good example of the kind of statements that are being made. Now I want to show you something. Lightning Network enables fast and low cost transactions on the Bitcoin network by creating a second layer. Cut and paste, here's another one. Cut and paste, here's another one. And cut and paste, here's another one. So the point being is that it is fighting against a big narrative going forward. Cut and paste, there's another one. Cut and paste, there's another one. You get the point, all right? The other one I want to hit on is this tweet right here. This is, of course, Steak and Shake saying that, and remember, Steak and Shake made a big announcement saying we're accepting Bitcoin. I still have not figured out how to pay in Bitcoin on Steak and Shake. I don't think they're accepting any real amount of Bitcoin. This is something I'll call the Steak and Shake. You're welcome to come on. If you're the CEO of Steak and Shake, I challenge you to come on this show. Show me the numbers. Show me the real numbers. And then show me the real numbers of people who say that they would accept Bitcoin as pay. And I'm not, ranking on Bitcoin. The point is it's not designed as a medium of exchange. It is an asset that is speculative that you invest in, just like any other thing. I wouldn't take Tesla shares, even though I love Tesla. I wouldn't take Solana shares, even though I love Solana. Those are different kinds of scenarios that play out here. Now, if you look at some of the visuals, this is the Lightning Network, which they reference so often. And Jeff has talked about that many times. That was the guy that was on the last clip. And you can kind of see what's happening. It is declining, guys. The number of nodes are starting to decline, and the stability does not look good overall. Further into this, Lightning Network capacity also starting to dip. Further into just some general, variable information around the Lightning Network. Lightning Network transaction volume is elusive. Most activity happens off-chain and privately without broadcasting to the Bitcoin blockchain. So that's another problem that I think exists. Key metrics like total counts, values, only visible to the node operators, not publicly aggregated. Why? Why isn't that information out there? I mean, this is the core asset of crypto, and this is one of the core pillars of what this crypto is designed to do. So again, it goes back to pointing at simple economics around all of this. Last thing I want to hit on was this tweet right here, and I want to focus on this right here. There's more monthly economic activity on Litecoin, which is a carbon copy of Bitcoin, that's well accepted for payments. Then look at this right here, because this is Ripple and the stablecoin RLUSD, which continues to go up. And remember, this is a small stablecoin in comparison, and very young. Also, and in comparison of what we've seen out there within Bitcoin in terms of transactions, starting to dwarf that as well. Give that another 12 years, 13 years. Oh, wow. Things are going to go from there. All right, so let's get over to our next clip, because this is proof that Cathie is a better marketer than even the Bitcoin maxis. Here's why. Take a look.
If you're at zero still on Bitcoin, I can't take you seriously anymore. And
I think what you're saying, Jeff, is we hit escape velocity.
yeah, that's escape velocity. And I'm going to start using that instead of just maybe some insults.
96% of the planet have not invested in crypto. So you're basically calling 96 people out of 100 buffoons. And that's the problem that maxis I always get in arguments with. Stop insulting me because I don't invest enough in your asset that you love. All right, I get it completely. I understand. You're talking your book. I would do the same thing. The point being is there's no reason to call people bad names. So let's go over to another clip here. And this is one that breaks down a little bit more around Bitcoiners trying to explain how it's used for peer-to-peer. Take a look.
So Kibera is the largest informal settlement. Another word for that is a slum in all of Africa. About 600,000 people living in a slum within the confines of Nairobi. It's also, there's an amazing app in Kenya called Tamdo.
Berlin there too. Berlin there now.
Bitcoin yep. Berlin, yep.
And people that take my breath away with what they're building can't even see. They can't even see how fast this is moving because they're not accessing that same type of talent.
Not known assets, not known projects that are, they should be. An asset class that has this much brevity in traditional finance now should have tier one projects, easily tier one projects. Cathie went on, because you kind of saw a little bit of, I think, a little bit of a doubt in her eyes when she was hearing that kind of that rundown from the litany of people around her that were, I feel like it was like the 1v20. It should be, what was that, 1v5 in this particular case? But here's a clip where she is not convinced and she walks back the statement again. Take a look.
on the Lightning Network. I remember we had a Bitcoin brainstorm with roast beef, and we were talking about the Lightning Network in Africa, I'm going to say about 4 years ago, and it really did not take off the way we expected. So very interesting and interested in seeing how that evolves. But I'm going to go back to, I'm just thinking about these merchants very practically. I think if Block enables stablecoins, if there's demand pull, he will, and Block will satisfy it. And I think there is going to be demand pull from stablecoins. So I do think this is going to be a little bit of a tug of war from a merchant point of view. I think they are asking for stablecoins.
Just say it, Cathie. Just say the word. It's okay. It's okay to say the words. Stablecoins will win the battle on payments. It is that simple. I think you also have another issue, which is this Deminimus Tax that, of course, is going to play into this, because that will also potentially kill this kind of scenario. Take a look at this one.
Do you think the Deminimus Tax exemption comes into play?
Why hasn't the de minimis ruling, why hasn't that moved forward? And how will it? This is the biggest question, and why I did say that about stablecoins. Jack needs to get in there and Block to lobby and say, hey, this is really important for our customer base, which is, tends to be very small business or low to mid income people.
I have seen that they've posted something on Block's website. I don't have the exact link, but I think that they are getting ready to do that. I don't think this is going to be something that gets included in market structure, but given that President Trump was thinking about including it in the One Big Beautiful Bill, we might see it put into some other omnibus bill.
I doubt it. I don't think we will. And you look at Block launching their Bitcoin as Everyday Money campaign. This is one that I don't remember happening. And I have not, and normally I would say Block is a fairly good marketer, but they just did not necessarily make it to maybe they're doing it in DC to try to get an awareness around it, but it just did not really resonate from a national standpoint. And let's just remember that Block is one of about 50 different purveyors out there in the category of POS, if you're getting into retail and also online payments, that matter most. And I think we haven't seen a crack in Stripe. We haven't seen a crack in Toast. Many of the companies that are out there driving retail point of sale, that I think is the key thing. On the other hand, stablecoins, that's a different story. PayPal's already launched with one. Ripple is starting to make moves on one. USDC is getting partnerships. It is clear this has got no other way to go. I think the Bitcoiners are going to have to give up on the idea of using it as payment. Cathie Wood also throws some hopium prediction at these same Bitcoiners. Take a look.
President Trump does not want to be a lame duck. So I have a feeling, one, make sure we get that de minimis ruling through. But also, it seems as though there's been reticence about actually buying Bitcoin for the strategic reserves. I actually think they will start buying, because I think this will help Trump in a couple of ways. The midterm elections, yes. And another reason, of course, is his family is all in on Bitcoin and other crypto assets. But the most important one is he does not want to be a lame duck.
I think a good way to start would be buying MicroStrategy, right? They have 600K Bitcoin. So if you want to get to 1 million, that's an easy place to start.
It has to go below MNAV, though, right?
Yeah.
Could there be some activity, I don't think out of DC, that would be going after MicroStrategy in general? I don't get that one. And I don't think a midterm play here is going to be in as well. So I'm kind of curious where Cathie was going. Maybe in a future interview, she'll expand on that a little bit more. She's probably thinking through some other aspects of this. I don't know for sure. This last clip goes into her claiming that the Big Beautiful Bill and corporate tax cuts are going to spur the economy going forward. Take a look.
The second thing that I think we'll see next year is a big surprise in GDP growth because of the OB3 and the corporate tax deductions. Like the effective tax rate has dropped to 10%, which is the lowest in the world for any developed country. So you get huge tax refunds. So I think we're going to see massive growth, and the deficit, they're going to have more degrees of freedom in which to work now.
Well, okay, so I'm going to agree with her in one component of that. And what I mean by that is I don't know that we're going to see an economy spur out of these kind of scenarios from the tax cuts. What I do think we'll see some productivity lift. Does it happen this year in 26 is the real question mark. It's going to have to happen pretty quickly, and I think especially that would be one of the things that could help the administration push through the situation, at least in terms of a midterm win for the Republicans. But there are so many things playing into this, guys, that I think we continue to watch this very closely. And the strategic narrative that starts to go around all of that, in summary, is important, because if Wood starts to get more shaky on the grounds of Bitcoin as a asset that is more utilitarian, and instead it is truly digital gold, that starts to change the narratives for a lot of companies and also a lot of investors going in. So make sure and stick around for more like that. If you like this video, hit like and subscribe, drop a comment down below, and also join our free private member group. The link is in the description.